Hello and welcome to my podcast, My Crazy Life. I am making stories as ebook. I am Mr. Anonym, the creator behind it all. What you are about to hear exists only here, only with me. Welcome to a world where darkness isn't just told, it's created. In this podcast, every story, every line, every breath is my own. I write the text myself, I craft the voice myself. Everything you hear is made by me, from the first word to the last heartbeat. Here you'll step into stories that aren't filtered, mass-produced, or borrowed from anyone else. This is my imagination, my nightmares, and now they become yours. So sit back, turn off the lights, and let me take you to places that exist only because I wrote them into life. This is the beginning, and trust me, you want to hear more. We begin the story with the book. Now, prepare yourself. The Man by the Lake's Edge, Chapter 1, The Disappearance. Everything begins with a story about a man who is searching for his wife. He woke up in the morning at his home and realized that his wife was not lying next to him in the bed. Something feels wrong. The man usually always wakes up with his wife lying beside him and smiling. But this time the sheet was only on the man's side, and the woman's sheet lay on the floor with bloodstains along the floor. It looked as if something had happened while the man was sleeping and the woman. How could the man not notice anything? He wondered. That thought gnawed at him like a parasite. It wasn't just worry, it was shame. A feeling that he had failed her. That he should have woken up, should have heard something, should have done something. The room suddenly felt foreign, as if it was no longer their home, but a place where something unknown had moved while he slept. He gets up and changes from his pajamas into everyday clothes. It is a cold summer morning, so he puts on a fleece jacket and light jeans with a blue cap. But the clothes don't feel like clothes. They feel like armor that he is not ready to wear. His fingers tremble as he pulls up the zipper. He feels his heart beating hard, almost too hard, as if his body is trying to warn him about something he has not yet understood. This man's name is Jens. Jens begins to walk out of his home. But before he chooses to search for the woman, he brings an axe that he has in the backyard, which he usually chops firewood with. Just in case, the axe is heavy, cold, and when he grips it, it feels as if something inside him changes. As if he goes from being a husband to becoming a hunter, or possibly a prey. He sees that the grass has been pressed down at the side of the property, because their house stands far out in the wilderness in Sweden, high up in the country, near the mountain range. They choose to live there because they like nature and being left alone by people. But now solitude no longer feels like freedom. It feels like an abyss, a place where no one would hear him if he called out. A place where something can take a person without leaving a trace, except bloodstains on a floor. Anyway, we go back to what the man is doing. He begins to track the woman, or the one who took the woman, by seeing twigs, grass, and footprints in the ground. He sees a trail, so he follows it. And then further he walks, the more the forest changes. It feels denser, heavier, as if the trees lean closer, as if they listen to his breathing. The wind no longer rustles, it whispers. Shadows move between the trees, not like animals, but like something trying to hide when Jens looks in their direction. Wolves howl in the distance, but the sound moves in a way that makes Jens feel watched. It feels like he's walking in a ghost forest, a place where time stands still and where something ancient, something that does not want to be disturbed, awakens when he passes. He finally arrives at a lake where he can finally see something. He sees a lonely little house. The lake lies mirror still, but the mist above it moves as if it is breathing in one of the windows. Someone is standing there. A light's on. A shadow, a shape. But when he blinks, it is gone, as if it never existed. He chooses to walk to the house, because the tracks have disappeared into the forest and he must find them again. When he arrives, he thinks someone is home. But when he stands at the door, he sees that the light has gone out and the curtains are drawn. It is as if the house has closed its eyes. He sees a large door knocker. That one knocks with, so he uses it and knocks 3 times, clearly and loud. Thud, thud, thud. The sound echoes for too long, too deep, as if the house is bigger on the inside than the outside. No one opens the door, and the man wonders what is going on. A cold shiver runs along his spine. It feels as if someone is standing right behind the door, holding their breath. He walks around and peeks through the crack by the window, but sees nothing clearly. It looks like some shadow moving in there, but he's not sure because it is pitch black. The darkness inside feels thicker than normal darkness, as if it hides something that doesn't not want to be seen. He chooses to walk around the house to see if he can find a way in. Luckily, he sees a cellar entrance that old houses usually have, where there are 2 doors lying on the ground that you open. He has a flashlight with him, so he turns it on. The light cuts through the darkness, but it feels as if the darkness pushes back. He begins to walk slowly down into the cellar to see if he can find another. But the only thing he sees down there are cobwebs and old furniture. The air is damp and heavy, and every step he takes echoes as if someone is walking behind him. He hears whispers in the background that give him chills. It does not sound like the wind, it sounds like voices, low, pressed, almost desperate, as if someone is trying to speak to him through the walls. He thinks the house is haunted by spirits or worse, demons. He sees that the light is on upstairs now and hears footsteps along the upper floor's boards. It creaks slowly, as if someone is dragging their feet. He chooses to go up, but when he finally comes up, the light is off again. The house is quiet, too quiet, as if it is holding its breath. He shouts, "Hello, is someone here?" But his voice feels small in the darkness. He walks around and notices that there is no one in the house, but he finds a clue. an old photo of his wife Anna lying on the floor. It lies in the middle of the floor, as if someone placed there for him to find, as if someone wants him to continue. He wonders how it can be lying there. A cold lump grows in his stomach. It feels as if someone is playing with him. He becomes immediately scared and chooses to go out quickly through the front door. But now it is obviously locked. It was not locked when he came in. So he raises the axe and is prepared to strike the one who is coming toward him in the darkness. The flashlight trembles in his hand. But when the light hits the figure in front of him, he sees that it is a lonely lost dog, a stray dog that is brown and has fine fur with dark eyes. The dog licks the man's hand and wants to follow him. But something in the dog's gaze feels too human. The man chooses to go out the same way he came in. When the man comes out again, he notices a field where thick fog lies like a blanket over the ground. The fog moves as if it is alive. He sees someone carrying a lantern, walking along the field. The figure moves slowly, almost floating. He thinks that he must explore that, and the dog follow him, walking in his footsteps behind him. The man comes closer and sees that the shadow disappears again when it goes into the forest. Suddenly, the man finds tracks again. They are strange footprints that do not look like human. They are too long, too deep, as if something heavy has walked here. He also sees drag marks, as if someone must have dragged something along the ground. He immediately thinks that it must be his beloved wife Anna. Jens investigates the matter. The dog comes up to him and sniffs the ground, circling around as if it senses a smell that should not be there. The dog begins to dig into the ground, eager, almost desperate, and Jens watches as the dog's paws tear up soil and roots. It seems as if the dog has found something old, something that has been hidden so long that the earth has almost grown shut around it. Jens goes down on his knees and helps the dog dig. His fingers grow cold from the soil. His nails fill with dirt, but he continues. It feels as if the ground itself is trying to hold onto what lies down there, as if it resists. Every time it takes a new grip on the earth, it feels as if something in the ground pulses, as if it is alive. After a long while, a deep pit formed, and there in the darkness lies something mysterious, ancient and unpleasant. A chest, buried deep in the ground. The wood is dark, almost too black, and looks to be over 100 years old. It is covered in strange symbols, scratches and stains that cannot be identified. It is as if someone carved warnings into the wood, or curses. On the chest sits a padlock with a large hole, but the key is missing. The lock is rusty, but it still feels alive, as if it is waiting, as it knows it will soon be opened. Jens decides to use the axe which is so sharp and large, to open the lock. He pushes the dog away in excitement and tells the dog to stay. The dog looks at him with a wagging tail, proud and happy, unaware of what truly lies in the ground. But in the dog's eyes there is something more. A worry, a warning. Jan swings the axe. A hard metallic clang echoes through the forest. It feels as if the sound awakens something far away, as if the forest is listening. With a second strike, he cracks open. He grabs it and pulls it away from the chest fastening. His hands shake, not from exertion, but from a feeling that he has just broken a boundary he should not have touched. Now he can finally open the chest and see what hides. What it has kept concealed. What someone once wanted to bury forever. When he opens the chest, he finds several old things. Clothes from an old farm woman, worn and covered in soil. He finds some tools that one usually uses on a farm, rusty but still sharp. It is as if time has not touched them, as if they have been waiting. He also finds several letters, bundled together with an old string. The paper is yellow, almost falling apart. The letters smell of dampness, earth, and something metallic. When he touches them, it feels as if the paper pulses faintly, as if it remembers. Then he sees a map. He grabs the map and wonders where it leads and what area it might be. When he unfolds it, the paper crackles, as if it protests. He sees that the map matches where he is. The river that runs along the water, the house he was just in, and the field that is a meadow. He also sees the mountain where the wolves howled. And there, at the very top of the mountain, lies a house. An old house. A house that should not still exist. The footprints and marks along the ground seem to wind upward, toward the mountain. As if someone dragged something heavy. As if someone was struggling. As if someone screamed, but no one heard. He suspects that someone has dragged someone, possibly his wife Anna, all the way up to the house on the mountain. A cold wave of panic washes over him. He thinks, should I call the police now? This is starting to get out of control. He begins to doubt himself. Can he handle this search on his own? He picks up his phone, types 112, presses call. He waits. A few tones go through. Then the call drops. He stares at the screen. The signal disappears. One bar at a time. Until it goes completely dark. As if someone or something turned it off. He gets chills and shivers. Something feels wrong. But he does not know what. It is as if the forest itself does not want him to call for help. As if it wants him to continue alone. He decides to keep walking along the path that leads up to the house on the mountain, on his own. The dog follows him, quieter now, almost watchful. It is as if the dog senses that something is following them. As he walks in the forest, he noticed that what was just morning has suddenly shifted and become night. Hours must have flown by quickly, but he thought it was strange. It did not feel like he had been outside that long. It is as if time does not function normally here. As if the forest controls it. Unaware of how time moves, he continues through the thick forest with his axe and his newly found dog. He stops and thinks that he must call the dog something. Vilma is a good name, he's saying out loud. The dog wags its tail and looks happy, as if it has been waiting for a name. Suddenly, out in the middle of the forest, he hears a twig snap. He freezes. He points the flashlight around him and tries to see what it could be. But everything becomes dead silent. The birds fall silent. The wind stops. It is as if the entire forest is holding its breath. He begins to get nervous and sweats. The dog becomes scared and starts barking, loudly, wildly. He hears nothing except the dog's barking. Then, just as suddenly, the dog becomes silent. Not by itself, it is as if someone or something silenced it. Jens understands nothing, but he continues walking upward toward the mountain. It feels as if a shadow follows him and Vilma. A presence he cannot see, but he feels on his neck, as if someone is walking right behind him, but stops when he stops. After a long while he reaches the house. From a distance he sees that it is an old watchtower from the Middle Ages, large as a castle, but deserted. The fog lies thick around it, as if the tower is trying to hide. He must walk closer to see it properly. As he approaches, he notices that there is a light at the very top. Someone is walking there. A shadow moves. Footsteps echo faintly down along the stone walls. Jens now standing right outside a large gate. A gate that looks as if it has been waiting for him. As if it knows he will open it.